I would explain it. There's two ways of explaining it. I think the least technical way of explaining it is, imagine a librarian. If you are writing a new book, the librarian has to actually take the book and figure out what the book is about, and also what it relates to. If there's other books that might be source material for this book or might be referenced from this book. And then once you get the book, you have to get the book physically somehow. You have to read through it. You have to understand what it is about. You have to understand how it relates to the other books. And then you can sort it into the catalog. And then for people who want that book or who want the information that the book provides, they can go into the catalog and find it from the catalog. So that's my way of explaining it, absolutely non-technical. If you want to go a little more technical, fundamentally what you're doing when you surf the web, when you browse the web, is crawling. You start with some URL that you got from somewhere, I don't know, an advertisement somewhere has a URL on it, you see that, you go to your browser, you make a network request by typing in that URL, and then your browser goes to that server, gets you the information back. Then you read through what this website is about. And then if you want to learn more, you would probably stay in that tab and then actually click on the links to figure out where that's going. That's pretty much what our crawler does. And going a little more technical, what fundamentally happens in crawling is we have a list of URLs that we somehow found, either by actually crawling another URL or by like a seed where we knew that these URLs would exist, or by webmasters submitting it through sitemaps or through Google Search Console. And we take each of these URLs, we make a network request to them, we get the server response, and then we look at the server response. And then we also render it. So we basically like open it in a browser to run the JavaScript, and then we look at the content again, and then we put it in the index where it belongs, similar to what the librarian does.
So you said something about seed. What do you mean by seed?
I mean, the thing is, I'm not even sure if that ever existed at Google, but I was wondering, like, so if you were to start a search engine today from scratch, you have nothing that you can use to start from, you would probably, just as a human being, you would probably know URLs, some URLs at least. And I think my best bets would be probably like most of the large news websites and probably the social networks and some other things. And Wikipedia is probably a good source for information on the web as well. And you would probably just start feeding your index database from some sort of list of URLs that you happen to know. And I imagine that at some point we might have had that at Google. I don't know. I'm not sure if it exists, but if
yeah, I assume when Google in their college room, when they were starting, they probably fed in ODP or Yahoo or something to start getting that seed.
But yeah, the point is, if you were to start an engine from scratch, you already know some points to start in the web.
Okay, so that's the crawling side of things. How would you explain in a non-technical way the indexing side of things?
The indexing side of things, again, is this librarian, again, trying to figure out what is this book about. And you can have different books on cats. There can be a book on cat diets. There can be a book on cat behavior. There can be a book on cat treats, on, I don't know, different cat races or something like that. So when we are looking at the content that you gave us from crawling and rendering, we try to figure out what is this about, what kind of information can I get out of this, and how does this relate to potential queries that are being asked. So we have to understand the natural language that you're providing us, but we also have to understand the semantics. Now, not everyone is providing us with good semantic content, so then we have to infer semantics if they are not there. Inferring semantics can go either way. It can be fantastic, it can be not so fantastic. We have to deal with mistakes being made. Some people use canonical tags in ways that they were not meant to be used. Like everything points to the homepage. It's like, yeah, but I don't think that this makes sense. So we then, to index things, we have to understand what's the intention of the website's content, what's the content about, what kind of information does this provide, and how does it relate to other bits and pieces of information that we already have. And that's the indexing step.